Alright, what is up, Transformer fans? First and foremost, let me just say that I'm sorry. So sorry for not getting a review out. It's been forever, and I feel so sad that I couldn't have gotten one out, but I did actually today take my ACT, and so there really wasn't any time between the beginning of this semester, and I didn't have any time over spring break because I was working, and it's just a big mess. Every time I thought I could have time to sit down and film a review, something popped up. But I got out of school early today because I took the ACT, so now I actually am going to have some time, so that's good. So anyway, we're going to be taking a look today at Transformers Dark of the Moon Leader Class Bumblebee. Yes, I realize this is a dated figure, but this is part of that box that Aldrin sent me, and so I've been really wanting to get around to reviewing this guy, but when I received him, he was actually broken. And he wasn't broken on the toy level. Well, I mean, it was the toy level, but he wasn't broken on the main figure. He was actually broken in his battery pack. But I have long since had that fixed. One of my good friends, Isaac Maxey, he went in and opened it up, and it was just some poor connectors. Just the age, and I guess jostling around had loosened some of the connectors inside, and so some of the electronics were not working any longer. But he opened it up and resoldered it, and now it's working 100%. So now I can review this figure at its full capacity. So that's that. So speaking of his weapon pack, it is a nifty little just gray box. It's got a lot of brown detailing here, and this plastic has been customized slightly. There's a bit of a silver airbrush on top to give it a shiny, scratched up look, which is neat, but that's not going to be on yours if you buy this as a base model. My apologies. It has kind of a grayish smoke blue. On the camera it's appearing purple, but it is definitely a blue color, and you have it here, and then on a target sight, and then you have it on the edges as well here for the grenade launchers, or the missile launchers, pardon. And it does have the regular MechTech holes. You can plug it here, 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 here. I thought there was one more. That must be it. So there are 4 places you can plug this, and there's 2 clip bars right there. And other than that, that's pretty much it. But you don't need that much. Here in I call this its brick mode because it's just all folded up. Nothing makes any noises or anything, which is very nice that you can actually turn off the noises. So that's a very good effect. So if you were to fold this up like this and throw it in a bin, it wouldn't be making noises all throughout the night, which some Transformers that I have actually have done. So, yeah. But anyway, pushing this little red lever forward activates motion and sound. What it's going to do is it's going to rotate this cannon forward and rotate both of these missile launchers out to the side, and it's going to trigger the transformation sound that you heard in the Cyberverse arc. So it does that, and now you can see all this is flipped forward and out, and so now you can get 2 sounds. You can get the missile pods. You can see this lights up. It does the same thing on this side. Now, if you were to push this one and then push this one, they do not sound together. This sound cuts off, and then this one picks up over top of it. So if I was to go, this one stops altogether. So they can't run at the same time. Same as the cannon. Now, the cannon makes a really neat noise. I just think that's really neat. And likewise, if you were to push this, it stops this entirely. So that's a bummer. It does have a bit of articulation for the robot mode. These missile pods can rotate down about 90 degrees, so there's that. And then the cannon can also rotate 90 degrees. And so when you set it like this on his back, it's going to be missile pods and guns that sit over his shoulders. But I'll show that off more in robot mode. Now, speaking of Bumblebee, here he is in his car mode. This is his base car mode. It is the new Camaro that is outfitted for racing. You can see he has the lower front bumper lip down there that is on most racing vehicles. You can see a lot of nice paint decals. He is that same yellow color that all Bumblebees are. All black wheels. I kind of wish it was silver on the discs inside there, and the calipers, which I don't see molded. My apologies, I thought there were calipers molded in there. But I do wish the rims were painted and the discs inside were painted as well. The Accurate 900 STRA license plate is here. He does have his taillights. The Chevy logo is not painted there. However, on the front it is painted that nice gold color, as the headlights are painted silver as well. There's a lot of black detailing, and if the light hits this right, you can see how much detailing is in the front of this car. It just looks fantastic. So, and then you can see up top here, if the light will hit it right, you can see it's kind of got a carbon fiber look to it. So all of his black striping and even the spoiler back here is carbon fiber feeling material. It's not actual carbon fiber, but it does feel like it, and it's nice and rough. And you can see molded on the inside of the windows, he does have that racing netting decal molded in there. That's on the same side there. Nice little silver Autobot logo on either side. And the windows are a translucent blue plastic. You can see robot junk through the entire inside of the vehicle, so sorry if that detracts from that. So I'll go ahead and show how this can clip on. It's not supposed to clip on in this mode, but it'll be easier to show in this mode than his Stealth Force mode, I guess. You can see there is a little tooth joint here and 2 tabs. Likewise, on his back, he has 2 slots and a clip adapter. So if you just take this and snap it right on, there it is. And it's nice and tight. Well, I mean, it would have been. So, I mean, if I pick it up, but if you wiggle it around, it's not going anywhere. So you can have it on his back like that, and you can even activate it and flip it forward if you want a car with just a massive junk on top. So, and then it just pops right off. So Bumblebee actually has a third mode that most people leave undocumented. Although it is clearly laid out in the instructions how to achieve this, it is his Stealth Force mode. So without further ado, you want to start by pretty much how you start every Bumblebee transformation, opening the doors. So there's that. And then you want to take this chest armor piece and pop it off and bring it back like this. Then you come under here and grab the shoulders. And the shoulders and the arm assembly is all up inside here. And you just want to wiggle these, and they're tabbed in. And you just want to get these off. So now that that's happened, you want to come around here. You just want to loosen everything up and bring the fronts of the car up forward. And I kind of angle them up and get them out of the way just like that. So now that the front of the car is kind of disassembled, come back down here, untab all of this, and I'm going to have to zoom out. Give me a moment. Unprofessionalism. I'm going to raise up. Set that there. Okay. So now that we're up like this, you want to bring the arms out like this. And these little arms are very important right here. These brown arms that are attached to the chest. I almost said black, but that's brown, clearly. Then what you want to do is you want to extend both of the arms all the way out. Do not fold the hand out. Then you want to take this and you want to bend the shoulder back like so. Alright? It was pointed straight down, and you want to bend it back like this. Then you rotate them 90 degrees. Sorry if this is difficult to see, but you'll see what I'm getting at here in a minute. Then you take these arms, the little brown arms, and you fold them back up into where they were. They sit up in a groove at an angle right here. And then the holes at the top of the shoulder guard actually tab into little holes in the lower torso, or the bottom half of the car. You just kind of plug those in and make sure all this is sitting fluently, making sure none of the pieces are being warped. So there's that. And now that those are tabbed in, you can come around to the front side. Actually, you can go ahead and take this and just flip and close that back up. You won't be needing that down any longer. So now what you do is there's these little tabs on top of the shoulder guard right there that are now facing upward, and there's a peg hole on the bottom of the door. You can just take that, and if you just kind of peg it on there, And I'm just going to make sure it's nice and solid. And then move this around to where the least amount of stress is on that peg as possible. Then you take the arm and you fold it forward like there. Do the same thing on this side. Take this door and it tabs in right there on the shoulder guard. Just push it and peg it up. Then this cannon extends. Then you can, my apologies, you can take it and bend it like so, to where the cannon is now facing forward. And now, let me get them all situated and lower the camera back down. So, sorry, I don't want to get my stand in frame. Just, like I said, you just got to kind of straighten it up so that it looks even and puts the least amount of stress on all these joints holding it together as possible, because the last thing you want is for something to break. So now he's in his base Stealth Force mode. You notice the back has not been changed much. That is because, whereas this piece I showed on the base car mode, it is intended for this mode entirely. So if you just plug this on, there you go, and deploy the weapons, you can see it is designed to fit on this particular mode. The arms holding the missile launchers go perfectly around the doors, and the cannon fits right up top on the hood of the car, or the roof rather, where it was in the movie when he deployed Stealth Force. So there's that. This is the way the instructions say to do it. If you want, you can play around a little bit by manipulating some of the parts. For example, you could pop this up a little bit to give him more of a rigid right there. You could manipulate these little louvers that are in robot mode. They pop up and scoot back. You can mess with this thing as much as you want for personal preference, because this is Stealth Force. He kind of busts apart. So you could play around with this entire mode. But that's where the beauty's in the eye of the beholder. If you want this to look like an exploded alien mess of Camaro, you can do that. If you want it to be a normal Camaro, you can do that. If you just like this kind of plain stealth moded out Camaro thing, that's totally up to you. It's all for you to explore. So, there's his stealth mode. Alright, I've taken the liberty of placing him back into his regular car mode without showing you how to transform it back, because everything that I just did, you just undo it and kind of mash the car back together, and there you go. Bam. Now transforming him to robot mode. It's pretty similar actually to the Stealth Force configuration, because you have to explode the car to access all the pieces. So the only thing that we really didn't mess with was the back, and that's the legs, so you're going to see that. But other than that, it's very similar to what you just saw. So open the doors up, take the front of the car, and you kind of just split this in 3 pieces, and then wiggle. They come off these tabs and wiggle out. And then, once again, just kind of angle these up and out of the way, because the last thing you want is something getting in the way. Flip this guard back down. Then you don't even have to tab these in anywhere yet. So just kind of bring these out to the side on these little brown arms. So there's that. I'm going to go ahead and tackle the legs first while the camera's down here. But first, what you want to do is you want to take this whole upper roof section, and it tabs in back here at the rear of the car, but it is all attached, as you can see. So you bring this up, and then the windshield lifts up, and then this little piece of the hood folds down underneath, and there's that. Then you can go ahead and take this front grille section, and it actually lifts back, and it'll snap into place if I can get it to do right. There you go. It snaps right back into place right there. Then something you might want to go ahead and get out of the way while he's exploded is getting your thumb up underneath here. It's really hard to do. And you flip out this little thing. So just leave that right there. Then you come down here to the legs. Taking the whole rear of the car, you want to split it in half, and it doesn't really matter how far out you move these. You're going to just put them right back. Take these little side guards and just untab them from the side of the car. Bring the feet right here all the way down, but in the process of doing so, you're going to want to lift the rear part of the car up. So bring these all the way down like so. So bring this down a little bit, lift the rear car half up, bring the foot all the way down. Now that you're here, you can uncontort the legs and straighten them out. And bend the knee. Put the legs like so. And at this point I'm fumbling again with this figure's height, so I went ahead and took the liberty of raising the camera without doing it on camera. So anyway, we're here at the legs, and I just flipped the shin guards up. And now what you want to do is, this is out of focus. You want to take this little toe thing and untab this and flip it forward on both of the feet. Then you take the entire section here, and it rotates all the way up now. And the reason you do this is because otherwise the wheel would be touching the ground, and you don't want that because he'll roll away. You can see now how that works. Like, the wheel is now flush with, or not, it's touching the ground. But when you rotate it like this, now it's not touching. So anyway, take the foot and flip it forward. Take the foot and flip it forward. And these heel spurs are fun. You just kind of flip them out. There's two of them. You got to get your thumb up underneath this one. So there's that. And here's this. And here's one of my major complaints with the figure. While we're here, down here, we might as well touch on this. These bump into each other. So the smaller ones should have gone on the inside. Just a tip, Hasbro. So then there's that. You can straighten them up. Just make sure all the feet and everything. Make them stand. Take these thigh pieces. Bring them up. Rotate them around. Make sure these back pieces here are flush with the leg. Make sure these little toe guards are sitting right. Make sure the heels are properly on the ground. And there's his lower body. Let's go ahead and take this piece back down. We're going to have to move the shin guards out of the way. But anyway, there's that. Now, what you're going to want to do is bring this entire upper body down. So you can see what I did there. I just pushed it down in an accordion right there. So there's that. And I've just realized it needs to go up one more level. Please forgive me if the phone falls, because it is sitting on a tower right now. I'll try to be as careful as I can. Now what you want to do is you want to take these wheels here and split them. And it's going to be super shaky, my apologies. So there's that. And then you want to take these little louver things here and lift them up and accordion them back like so. Lift them up and accordion them back like so, making sure they sit down flat. Making sure these arms, the little brown arms, not the robot arms, are out of the way. You can go ahead and fold these arms, the robot arms, out like so. Then you can take the hand and flip it out and just position the thumb. Okay, we're getting there. Now we can go ahead and condense the backpack. Push this up to where it's right there. Now you're going to see what this little brown clip is for. This actually clips up top and holds this whole thing together. So this clips into this back piece. So now the backpack is in its proper position. Now what you do is these little gray teeth right here sit in a groove right on the inside here. See where the Camaro logo is? It sits in the groove right below the Chevy logo. My apologies, not Camaro logo. So then, and also another note is these little brown arm bars, you're going to want the flat, the larger flat side, not the narrow flat side, the wide flat side, facing you when you're doing this. Otherwise, the arms won't be right. So then you just kind of want to position these like so, making sure that they're good, and this just all kind of see how it comes together. Then you can go ahead and take this guard piece here and clip it up into place, which it's not doing for some reason. There it goes. Just it all clips into place right there. Now what you want to do is just take these shoulder pieces and they plug in to the arm like, or plug into the socket right there, the wheel well. Make the shoulder. Oh, that's in. Okay. They just plug in Yeah, it snapped. Alright. And then, now all it is just a matter of positioning these doors, bringing the wheels back, and straightening him up. And here we have Bumblebee in his robot mode. So, you can see the full-fledged thing here. Yay! Size comparison time. Just because I thought it'd be funny, I brought Unicron in. Now, Unicron's kind of crouched over, so you can kind of see Bumblebee would be at his kind of mid-torso line if Unicron was standing straight up. So there's that comparison. Here he is with Follow Cybertron Bruticus. You can see Bumblebee comes up to about Bruticus's chest. With the subtraction of his lights and sounds, Bumblebee actually ends up being a very posable leader class figure. Because there's not a battery pack or a speaker pack or anything hanging off of his back, he is just a very nice, large-sized Bumblebee figure, which is a benefit in this case, considering leaders, as far as we've known, leaders have had built-in sound systems. So this is kind of a breath of fresh air for me, personally. We'll go ahead and start here with his upper body. I'll bring him closer. His head does twist side to side, but these panels are in the way. However, if you lower them and get them flat, he can go a little bit further. Just like so. And then, I'm going to have trouble getting this back out. But, his head doesn't go too far just because of the obstruction right there. But you can get it to go a little bit. Nothing at the waist or anything aside from the arms, which go on a ratchet joint all the way in and out. And then they ratchet forward and back. Then he has a lower shoulder pivot, double jointed elbow. So just like so. Same thing on the other arm here, except for the hand is articulated, swiveling all the way in, and the thumb, in fact, does move. Now, the gun, if you want, you can manage to extend it, but that's not very aesthetically pleasing, so to speak. And once again, I must apologize for the shakiness of the camera. Due to how high it's sitting, it manages to shake a whole lot. And I really don't like that, and I know y'all don't either. But once again, my apologies. So once again, nothing at the waist. He does manage to have a full range here at the thigh, as well as a full range forward and backward. Nice, clicky ratchet joints. About a 90-degree bend here at the knee. So that's good. And then the foot can pivot as well, and you can go up and down on this joint similarly. There was one more thing I forgot to mention while I was at the upper body. The doors are articulated. You can get them in a multitude of positions. And even if you want, if they're just an eyesore and you don't like the way they stick up, you can actually rotate them down like so, and he doesn't have to have his doors. Now that does leave him look a little bit funny. I mean, he's Bumblebee. He's supposed to have doors, but if you don't want them, you do have that option of storing them. But once again, you can have a wide range of different positions you could put these doors in. So, there's that for his posability. Now, Bumblebee does have a couple of gimmicks here in robot mode, outside of his battery brick. But, you can manage to, if you get your fingers right, it's tough, but you can manage to flip these down and give him his battle mask. And it can hinge up like so, or whatever, but you can just tuck it all back into place. So there's that. And then his cannon, I showed off a little bit of what it could do, but it actually, like I said, it'll extend like so, retract, and you can even hinge this piece out and around to give him like a shield covering on his gun. You can do all kinds of stuff with this if you want. I mean, just kind of move it around. You can say he's charging his gun and it pop it out a little bit and reload or whatever. It's all up to you what you want to do with this. I usually leave it up like so because that leaves this clip point right here intact, which is another thing Bumblebee has. He has a clip point here, and on the other arm he still has these mounting points back here for his big old backpack, which I'll show off in a minute. He has a mech tech port here, mech tech port here, mech tech port there. Same on the other side, 3. And then, other than that, I don't think he has any other ones. But he does, you can fully load him. So, there's that. Now I will show you the battery pack and how it connects to Bumblebee here. But just get out of the way and transform it first. But then what you want to do is just kind of angle the doors straight back behind like so. You just take this and you're going to slide these up between the doors. And once again, this just tabs in and locks into place. And now he's going to try to fall over on me, but then you can rotate these down, and then finally take the cannon, rotate it down along his shoulder. And then you just kind of got to position him to where he's not trying to fall over. And there we go. So now he's standing up. And I'll just go ahead and put his battle mask down while we're doing this. It's really nothing special. It's just the vehicle mode weapons on a robot body. So you get all the same effects. And that's pretty much all there is to it. Now, if you do want to store this, it will just stay attached on his back. The only bad thing is you're going to have this cannon kind of peeking up over the top of his shoulder if you just kind of want him to be stagnant and standing there. However, it does have the molded-in jetpack if you wanted to just say this was a jetpack that he had on his back without the weapons deployed. But he is fully capable of standing with this on his back, which is probably why the heel spurs are so large. But he still has to be adjusted slightly in order to hold this monstrosity on his back. So, be wary. So that's Bumblebee, ladies and gentlemen. I am not going to transform him back because that would take forever, making the video too long. But you can just know that everything I did to turn him into robot mode is reversed to go back to vehicle mode. There's really no difference. So if there was any major differences, I would take the time to show you. However, it is just the conversion in reverse. So there's really no point in showing that. But anyway, Bumblebee's a great figure. I actually was... as time went on, I really regretted not getting him just because of the uniqueness of this being a, being a leader class mold and having the battery and weapons and lights all separate. It's the first time they've done this as far as I can remember, which leaves a Bumblebee which is leader sized, accurate to Dark of the Moon, which in my opinion is when he looked the coolest. He looked like a race car, and he's posable, and it's just a very, very good mix of things. And I didn't like Bumblebee from the movie as much. Now, I did say this was my favorite design, but I didn't like the character very much. And I did have a couple toys. I did have some of the deluxes and the Human Alliance, and this by far definitely has to be favorite. It does all the right things, and it's a good figure. So definitely try to pick this guy up. He's probably on clearance still at Walmarts that have decided not to get rid of him. $22 is an easy pickup for this guy, which is the last time I saw him, that was the price. So definitely pick this guy up. Thank you for viewing this video. Sorry it was so long, but there's a lot to talk about. And goodbye.